Hey everybody, Nick DiVirgilio here, and I have a question for you. Ever find yourself lugging heavy hardware to a gig and you're thinking to yourself, there's got to be a better way? Or maybe you're new to the drumming world and just want solid gear that won't wipe out your budget. Well, that's where the Gretsch EXPLORER series of hardware comes in. It's lightweight, dependable, and surprisingly feature-rich. It's built smart and priced right. So I thought it'd be fun to crack open the box and check out the hardware together. I'll walk you through the key features, get it all set up, and show you how it wraps around a drum kit. Now, if you're totally new to drums, or maybe you're a parent assembling your kid's first kit and wondering what exactly a hi-hat clutch or a kick drum pedal even is, don't worry, we got you covered. I made some beginner-friendly videos that walk you through everything step by step. No jargon, no stress, just this piece goes here kind of stuff. It's all simpler than it looks once you've seen it done. This video is a bit more of a big picture overview, so let's dive in and check out the EXPLORER hardware. Let's go. Okay, the first thing we have to do is, of course, open the box. I have a knife here. Be careful if you have a knife or a razor blade or whatever. Cut on in. Now the top shot here, the top camera should show you exactly what's going on, but when you open up the box, first thing you're going to see is cardboard. Everything's underneath. The folks at the factory pack everything inside of one box nice and snug, so you're going to have some extra cardboard like this. Let's first pull everything out of the big box and then we'll get into the hardware itself. So first we have the snare stand, the kick drum pedal, the hi-hat stand. One of the features that makes this hardware pack so cool is that you get two boom stands. Two boom stands, not a straight stand and a boom stand. You get two boom stands in the hardware pack, and that is great. Here is one boom stand and the other. Now, let's get into the hardware. One thing you're going to want to keep handy is a drum key. So once you got that, it's time to go. You're going to notice that the stand is wrapped in some paper on the inside, and that's to protect it. There's the top portion of the stand and the bottom portion. First, I'd like to take you through all the features that all of the stands in the EXPLORER line share. Like, they're all lightweight, very easy on the arms and the hands, and they're very easy to work with. They all have double braced legs. They all have the Gretsch style T-rod wing screws. These look and feel great. Every stand has the non-slit rubber feet. Every stand that has a connection has the smooth connect tube joint. And what that is when you connect the top portion to the bottom portion, the plastic piece right here in the middle that squeezes around the top portion is the smooth connect tube joint. It's very easy to work with, very easy to use, and a great feature. With all that being said, let's now put together the boom stand, and it's really simple because it's a single staged height adjustment. That means you put the top portion into the bottom portion and you're good to go. One quick suggestion here about these stands is that you don't have to tighten down the T-rod wing screw that much. Make it snug, and that's good. You don't have to squeeze the metal so hard. You also have this metal memory lock, so once you get that in place, grab your drum key, tighten that down, and the height of the stand will never move. Okay, let's check out the rest of the stand. The first thing I want to do is lower it all the way down so it's easier for you to see when I demonstrate this. First thing I want to show you is the precision cymbal tilter. There's no teeth on the inside. It smoothly goes back and forth. This means you're going to get your cymbal, the angle of your cymbal, anywhere you want it exactly, and it will stay in place. A great feature there. The boom arm is actually inside the tube of the cymbal stand. That makes it easy to pack away. It also makes it easy for this to be a straight stand and not a boom stand. So if you want it to be a straight stand, you could leave it exactly like this, or just loosen this T-rod wing nut right here. The boom arm comes up a little bit, tighten it down, and you have a very easy to set up straight stand with different height adjustments, because you can use this height adjustment and also make it even taller if you want to with the boom arm. Now let's turn it into a boom stand. First thing you're going to do is loosen the wing nut. When the boom arm is almost all the way out, tilt it over, push the boom arm through, get it to where you like it, and tighten her down. Now you have a boom stand. Now the difference between this joint and this joint on the cymbal stand, this one is the precision tilter that has no teeth. You can move it anywhere you want. The joint here where the boom arm connects to the rest of the stand, there's teeth on the inside. So when you change it to a different angle, you go a little bit at a time and it locks in place. Then tighten it down and you're good to go. Want to go up one more, loosen, up, one or two, tighten it down, and you're ready to put a cymbal on. Then you adjust the cymbal tilter It's as simple as that. Then when you're ready to pack it up or turn it into a straight stand, loosen it up, pull the boom arm almost all the way out, angle up and back down into the tube. The other cymbal stand that comes inside the pack is the exact same model, so you do the exact same things to set it up. And after I take you through the rest of the stands and the kick drum pedal, we're going to put them around a drum kit so you can see how they set up there. Now let's check out the hi-hat stand. Here's the top portion and the bottom portion. Out of the factory, they wrap the footboard up in some bubble wrap here just to protect it. So first thing is to take this bubble wrap off, just like that. There's also some plastic wrapped around the footboard. Let me first take you through the bottom portion of the hi-hat stand. Now it's a little different for me doing this facing a video camera and not sitting behind the drum kit like I normally do, but I think I can still do it. I think I can still show you. At the bottom of the footboard, you'll notice there's two arms or legs or feet, however you want to call them, that angle left and right at the bottom. See that? One goes one way, one goes the other. Those two angles correspond to the two holes that are in the bottom of the hi-hat stand housing. Pull the foot plate out, put one in one side and one in the other. It'll snap right in, and that's how the footboard is connected to the rest of the hi-hat stand. Let me show you one more time. Pull out the arms, squeeze them together, rotate it over, and put one in one side and one in the other, and there you go. The next thing you're going to want to do is open up the tripod base. So just loosen the wing nut, pull the legs apart, push down from the top so it seats it into the ground, makes it nice and sturdy, tighten the wing nut, and there you have it. Now it's time to connect the top portion to the bottom portion. But first, before I do that, let me describe to you what these pieces in the top portion are, just in case you don't know. You have three separate pieces that make up the top portion. First is the tube and the seat where the bottom cymbal connects. That goes into the bottom portion of the hi-hat stand. Then you have the rod, and the piece that's connected to the rod up here is called the clutch. The clutch not only connects to the rod of the hi-hat stand, but it also holds the top cymbal of the hi-hats, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So to put it all together, take your clutch and just put it aside for the moment. Pull out the rod, screw it into the bottom portion. You don't have to over-tighten the rod into the bottom portion of the hi-hat stand. Just make it snug and you're good. Then take the tube, put it over the top, tighten her down, and that's pretty much it right there. Then when you get the stand at your kit, you'll have the bottom cymbal of the hi-hat on the seat right here, which you can also adjust the angle with the little screw right here. See how it's tilting up? You can make the bottom cymbal angle up if you so choose. You'll have the top cymbal of the hi-hat connected to the clutch, which goes right over the rod. You'll tighten it down. Press the footboard with your foot. It goes up and down, and you have a hi-hat. Now let's move on to the snare stand. Here's the box for the snare stand, and inside there's two pieces wrapped in paper just like the other stands were. Once the pieces come out of the box, you'll have the tripod base and the portion with the basket that holds the snare and the rod going into the bottom portion of the stand. First the base, loosen the wing nut, open up the tripod, and there you go. Now to bring the snare drum basket out and upright, just loosen the wing nut, tilt it up, tighten the wing nut, and you're good to go. Now just put the tube into the bottom portion and you have a snare drum stand. Just like that. The snare drum stand, just like all the stands, has the metal memory lock. So loosen that once you get the height where you want it, and you're good. One thing to mention about the tilter. Inside the tilter are some teeth. They call it the fine tooth tilter. Each time you go one notch, the angle gets a little bit different on your snare drum. Just loosen the wing nut, go back and forth, get it to the angle that's comfortable for you, tighten it down, and you're good to go. Now to open up the snare drum basket, just pull on the arms lightly to open up the basket. And it'll stop wherever the knob down here is set to. The basket for this snare drum stand holds a 12-inch drum all the way up to a 14-inch drum. So just loosen the big knob down here to widen the basket. Then, once you place the snare drum onto the basket, if you want to tighten the arms around the snare drum, just turn the knob here and the arms will close. Now before I move on to the last piece, which is the kick drum pedal, I'd like to point out a couple very cool visual features. On the bottom portions of the stands is the Gretsch name etched in, and on every metal memory lock, etched in is the Gretsch G right there. Last but not least is the kick drum pedal. The beater and the pedal. The kick drum pedal is probably the easiest piece to put together. It even comes with a drum key. Grab the drum key, take the beater, put it in the hole right on the top, tighten it down, and you have a kick drum pedal. Now let's go through the features of this kick drum pedal. And the first is the Easy Glide Gretsch footboard. I was just mentioning a few seconds ago the cool little visual features that Gretsch added to these stands. That same thing can be said about this footboard. It looks great. Now, why does it matter that a footboard looks good when your foot's going to be on top of it? You don't see the footboard? Well, it's just a vibe that you get. When something looks cool, when a piece of gear looks cool, you get a vibe from it. And I think that's important when you want to get excited and motivated to play your instrument. Now, Easy Glide means that it's smooth. Your foot can move freely around the top of this footboard. Back and forth, side to side, it's not going to get caught up on anything. Also, the Easy Glide means everything works smoothly together. It all glides together. Again, there's so many great features of the Explorer hardware, and one of the great features of the kick drum pedal here is the solid base plate with the anti-slip rubber on the bottom. This is very sturdy and very robust. Your pedal's not going to move anywhere once it gets connected to the kick drum hoop. Another thing that helps your pedal stay in place are the adjustable spikes. There's one on the right and also one on the left. Tighten them down and you'll see that the spikes come out from the bottom. Those spikes will hook into the carpet that your drums are sitting on top of and keep everything in place. I mentioned the drum key. There's also a key holder right here on the left side of the pedal board, and the key snaps right back into place. Another great feature is the 3-point hoop clamp, and the bottom portion of the hoop clamp here is angled, which corresponds to the roundness of your kick drum hoop. And you can adjust how tight the clamp holds onto that kick drum hoop right here on the side with your drum key and this screw. There is rubber on the clamp right here that will help keep your kick drum hoop safe. But once you get the two connected, you get the kick drum pedal onto the hoop, you don't need to tighten it down, just like all of the stands. You don't need to tighten everything down so much that you crunch the wood of your kick drum hoop. There's little ridges on the rubber here. You don't want to see those ridge marks embedded into your kick drum hoop. So just tighten it down to where it's snug, doesn't move around, doesn't come off, snug but not too tight. This is a single chain drive kick drum pedal. You get the classic felt beater and also very stable 2-pillar frame construction. It's very simple to adjust the angle of the kick drum beater. On top you have a screw, put your key right there, loosen it up. Now you can put your kick drum beater anywhere you like. Once you get it in the right spot, just tighten it down and you're good to go there. It's also very easy to adjust the spring tension. At the bottom of the spring, you have a locking nut. Just loosen that, give yourself some space. Then adjust the nut that's on the bottom. Loosen, tighten, get it where you like, where it's feeling good. Put the locking nut back down. That tension will stay in place, and you have an adjusted pedal. All right, we've checked out all of the hardware. We went through the features of each piece, but now let me put the hardware around a drum kit so you can see what it looks like set up. Okay, now let's finish setting up this hardware around a drum kit. Right now I just have the kick drum, of course, but we'll put a floor tom and the snare drum on with some cymbals and you'll see how it works. The first thing I try to do, even in a small setting like a small club or a small practice facility, is widen the tripod base of the cymbal stands. Whether I'm using big, robust touring stands or great lightweight hardware like the Explorer hardware, just to give a little bit more of a sturdy base. So loosen up just a little bit, goes a long way. I'll do the same for the other side. That really does help. Now usually when a rack tom is here, I put the boom arm next to the rack tom and leave the ride cymbal, which is going to be near the floor tom, as a straight stand. You can set up your stands however you want to, of course. Just the way I normally do it when I have a small 4-piece kit and just 2 cymbal stands, the one that's going to be next to the rack tom will be the boom, and the one next to the floor tom will be the straight stand. So let's make this a boom stand. Raise it up a little bit. Pull the boom arm out. Bring it far enough to where the tilter can tilt one way or the other. Put the arm back in. There's your boom. We'll leave it there for now until we get the drums around. This stand, since it's going to be straight, we'll just leave it like this. Make sure it's tight. I can even raise the boom arm out a little bit to make it a little bit taller. Now I'm going to grab some cymbals. Something to point out about the cymbal stands is the tightener. It's circular, it's not a wing nut, so just loosen it with your finger right there. Comes right off. Then you have the top felt, the bottom felt, which is attached to the seat, which is also threaded, meaning the seat can also come up or go back down to tighten up against the cymbal if you so choose. It also has a cymbal protector, a piece of plastic that protects the inner part of the cymbal, which is all great stuff. Put your cymbal right on the top, then the felt, then the tightener, and there's your first cymbal. Let's do the same for the ride. Here's my ride cymbal, and one thing I'd like to point out is that this is a big ride cymbal, a 22-inch ride cymbal, but these Explorer stands are sturdy and robust enough to hold a heavy 22-inch ride cymbal, no problem at all. I'll loosen the top nut here, take it off, top felt, put the ride cymbal down. All right, now let's attach the kick drum pedal to the kick drum hoop. First, make sure the clamp is loose enough, which you can do with your fingers when it's not attached to the kick drum. Then lift the kick drum back just a little bit, slide her on in, get her centered as possible, and tighten her down. Then, like I mentioned earlier, if you need the beater to be a little bit forward or a little bit farther back, just loosen it up here on the top, get it where you like, and tighten it down. And again, you can adjust the spring tension right here on the right side. Next, I'm going to put the snare drum onto the snare drum stand, which is super simple to do. Just make sure the basket is open wide enough to fit the drum and put it down. One thing to point out is that the basket arms, the little L arms here, you don't want them right at the bottom, right underneath a lug screw. Just make sure it's anywhere in between the two lugs all the way around the drum. Close to a lug is okay, but right on top of a lug is not, because you won't be able to get your drum key there if you need to tune the bottom head. So anywhere in between the lugs or right next to a lug is perfect. Now you can leave the snare on the basket like this, nice and loose. Some drummers prefer it that way, or you can tighten up the basket just enough to where it grabs the snare, so when you move the snare, the stand moves with it. They move at the same time. Remember, don't tighten up the basket around the snare drum too tight. Last but not least is the hi-hats and the hi-hat stand. The first thing to do is to take the clutch off of the rod, so just loosen the wing nut and pull the clutch right off. Then grab your bottom hi-hat cymbal, put the rod through the hole, and the cymbal down onto the seat. Now for the top cymbal, you're going to need your clutch, and it comes apart very simply. There's a nut on the bottom. Just unscrew it till it comes completely off. There's two pieces of felt. Pull one completely off. Grab your top cymbal, put the clutch through the cymbal. Take the small piece of felt, put that on first, then the bottom nut, screw it on, and that's it. Now put the clutch onto the hi-hat rod. There you go. You have your hi-hat. Now to make your hi-hat work, just press on the pedal with your foot a little bit, tighten the clutch onto the rod, and your hi-hat's ready to go. So there you go. Gretsch really found a nice balance with the new Explorer hardware. It's lightweight, reliable, feature-packed, and easy on the wallet. Great for practice, perfect for gigging, and just solid all around. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and make sure to follow Gretsch Drums on all of our channels, because, let's be honest, you can never have too many drums in your feed. Cheers.